Andrew?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
You and the Vice Mayor talked yet about getting that survey out yet?
No, I hadn't talked to the Vice Mayor about that, no.
Because I think we're trying to get that done before, is the first meeting or the second meeting of next month?
Okay, do you want me to reach out to him then?
If you would, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, yep, I can do that.
Hello there, Red.
What did I do?
We're all set, Roger. We can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me, but I just lost my picture.
Oh,
Yeah, let me work on this.
Michael, do you know if Commissioner Malone's going to be with us tonight? I haven't heard.
I haven't heard, no.
Okay. She is with us.
You hear me?
very low, but we can hear you, Roger.
I wonder what's going on.
Hi, Susie. Looks like Commissioner Klinger is the only one we are missing. Do we want to give him a minute or two longer, or if not, because it is 6 o'clock? Well, he's gonna have to play catch up then. I'm gonna call this meeting to order. We are now in our meeting. Can we all say the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag
Flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic
for
for
which
which
it
it
stands,
stands,
one nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
Liberty and
and
justice for
for
all.
all. Now, tonight's invocation was going to be offered by Pastor Larry Matro from Trinity Lutheran. Now, I may have given him the wrong time, and I apologize for that. So I will go ahead and do the invocation for us tonight. Shall we pray? Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us all together tonight to discuss the business of the city. Sometimes we may argue, a lot of times we agree on everything, but we still walk away as friends of each other. Please continue to be with us tonight and guide us in our decisions. Be with our city staff and keep them protected from when they go out to do their daily work. In your name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please, Mr. Rhodes.
Commissioner Burr,
Present.
Commissioner Klinger, Commissioner Wiki,
Here.
Commissioner Malone,
Here.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Littman,
Here.
Commissioner Good,
Here.
Vice Mayor Mullins,
Present.
Mayor Heil.
Here. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is proclamation presentations. I see none. We will go to the next item. Is there anybody in our audience tonight that would like to bring something to the commission? It is not on our agenda. Andrew.
This is for those attending via the Zoom meeting only. Anyone who wishes to make public comment can use the raise hand feature on your Zoom program. If you're attending via phone only, it'll be *9 to raise your hand. I see none, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Andrew. Moving to the next item is I will take the approval of a motion to approve the agenda for tonight.
Granted, move approval of tonight's agenda for Wednesday, April 28th, 2021, as presented.
I have a motion to approve the agenda. Do I have support?
Commissioner Burr supports.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Wiki,
Yes.
Commissioner Burr,
Yes.
Commissioner Klinger, Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mullins,
Yes.
Commissioner Littman,
Yes.
Commissioner Malone,
Yes.
Commissioner Good,
Aye.
Mayor Heil.
Yes.
8-0, motion carried.
Thank you, sir. Next item on the agenda, I will take a motion to approve our consent agenda for tonight.
Your Honor, I move for approval of tonight's consent agenda also for April 28th, 2021 as presented.
I have a motion by Commissioner Littman. Do I have to approve the consent agenda tonight? Do I have support?
Support, Commissioner Burr.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, please.
One quick note, I just noticed the minutes had the wrong date on them, but those have been fixed. So Commissioner Klinger, Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Burr,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiki,
Yes.
Commissioner Littman,
Yes.
Commissioner Good,
Aye.
Commissioner Malone,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mullins.
Yes.
And Mayor Heil.
Yes, I see Commissioner Klinger is trying to connect to the audio.
Yep.
But we just lost him again. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item is unfinished business, and we do have an item there. The marijuana ordinance amendment. This is our second reading. Michael.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before you this evening are proposed amendments to medical and adult use marijuana ordinances. There's two primary issues. First is stack permits. We're proposing to change the fee amount for stack permits and create minor and major categories. So the minor permit fee would be a $500 application review fee plus the a $500 permit application fee. The minor permit is set up so that if nothing changes with their previous permit, it's essentially the same thing, that they would pay that amount. The major permit, if they change anything to the building or property or other information that modifies the permit application, they would pay a $500 document review fee and then a $2,500 permit application fee. So that's really born out of our process and looking at and reviewing stack permits and recognition that there's very little work done for stack permits when there are no changes. I should point out that the statutes kind of speak to this issue of charging up to $5,000, and that has to be based on the work that you do to process that permit. And I guess I'd go even a little bit further. Is MML's position is that it should be essentially a cost of service fee that you have to justify the work that you do to collect the fee amount. And that's probably related to court case decision that's pretty significant. It was the city of Lansing versus Bolt, which basically said whether it's a utility rate or a fee, it should be based on, you've got to be able to justify that cost of service. And in particular, stack permits, we don't believe you can do that. Therefore, proposing different amounts. The second item is permit extension. The current ordinance allows for a 6-month extension, but we're finding that for a variety of reasons, people are not able to meet the time frame for the conditional permit. And so we proposed adding an extension that would be granted by the city commission. Those are the proposed changes. Be happy to entertain any questions.
Any questions for Michael on this agenda item? Vice Mayor Mullins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There we go. Mike, I'm just a question for you. At the last meeting, we had a couple of different motions to approve on this stuff, and one of them had to do strictly with the change in the ordinance fees. Was that, I can't recall, was that just a one-time motion? That motion only required one act and not a second reading?
Yes,
Yes?
yes.
Okay.
It's not an ordinance, it's just a change to the fee schedule, and that only needs one reading.
Okay, because that's the only thing that was not included in the rest of this stuff. The other stuff is just the same stuff as last meeting, and that was the only one that was omitted. So I just thought I'd ask the question if that other one had to be read a second time as well. But thank you, Roger.
Yep.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other questions for Michael? Seeing no other hands raised, Andrew, shall we see if there's anybody in our audience who has a question on this agenda item?
Sure, Mr. Mayor, anybody in the audience who wishes to make public comment on this agenda item, please use the raise hand feature in Zoom and we'll recognize you for public comment. I see none, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Andrew. I see no other hands raised. The question I will have, are we voting on the extension and the change of fees, or just the extension here? I'm sort of confused.
Let me take a look. Yeah, I believe you're voting on both with the
On
motion.
both.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, according to, like Vice Mayor Mullins indicated, our last meeting, it was two separate motions.
Yeah, I believe we had
the.
Yeah, I believe we had the ordinance amendments and the fee schedule. So if the commission wants to move forward with the amendments, that's all the action that has to be taken this evening.
And what you would be approving is the highlighted language in both 3892 and 38 93. And I think you can do that by one motion to approve those amendments.
Okay, thank you, Roger. What say the commission on this agenda item?
Mr. Mayor, this is Commissioner Good. I'd like to move that the Sturgis City Commission consider this the second reading of and approve amendments to the City Code of Ordinances, Section 38-92, medical marijuana facilities, and Section 38-93, adult use marijuana establishments, effective May 21st, 2021.
Okay, I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Good. Do I have support?
Second
I'll-
that.
Hang on a minute. I had two people doing it. I think it was, I got Commissioner Malone. Okay, we have support by Commissioner Malone. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Littman,
Aye.
Commissioner Wiki,
No.
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Malone,
Yes.
Commissioner Burr,
Yes.
Commissioner Good,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Mullins,
Yes.
Commissioner Klinger,
Yes.
and Mayor Heil.
Yes.
8-1, motion carried.
Thank you. Thank you all. We'll move down to our new business section. The first item on that is the Doyle membership policy amendment. And Holly, please.
Thank you, Mayor, City Commissioners. Included in your packet is a proposed amendment to the Doyle membership policy. Currently, the majority of part-time and seasonal employees are provided with a 50% discount on Doyle membership. Whereas we have other part-time employees at the city for like including police reserves, part paid firefighters, city commissioners that are eligible for a free membership. And in the current hiring environment, we're just kind of looking for ways to make it more appealing to work for the city. And a Doyle membership, we feel would be, one thing that we could do, or we could offer an adult membership, basically 100% discount for the remaining part-time employees, which would also increase the Doyle Center. So I think that would be good for, if they enjoy their membership, maybe they continue it. And also just give more exposure, more word of mouth about the facility. So it would be what's proposed in the packet is, and I think there's a red line version in there, but it would be during the time, through the month that their employment ended. So if it was a 6-month seasonal employee, then it would end after 6 months. But just feel like this would be, and the price it's in your packet, that is for the full annual cost. If it's a 6-month membership or a 3-month membership, it'll be a little bit less than that. Also, if it's a young adult person, so maybe it's somebody working at Spence Field for the summer and it's a young adult person, then it would be eligible for a decreased cost. So that's really kind of the maximum. But who would be impacted potentially by this change would be your seasonal cemetery parks, your like you said, Spence Softball Complex, the compost site, and Sturgis Young. And we have a lot of, we've got several employees that are working both at Sturgis Young and at Spence, and they're going back and forth. So some of them may already, be eligible for that, but it's like, why not just expand it to 2 other ones? So just trying to add something to make it more appealing to work for the city. So.
Do we have any questions from the commissioner and Holly? I think it's a good idea what you're doing here. Commissioner Good, I see your hand up first. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Holly, I think this is a great idea. I'm sure that a number of people were involved in this action in order to make it a more attractive job opportunity. My question is this, and it might not have an answer, but if you say $197 for 6 months and there becomes available stimulus grants through our auspicious federal government, can that money be recovered through those kind of grants, or is that a perk that is not eligible for, say, PPP or any of those other grant activities that may come forth?
I'm not sure if I know the answer. I mean, my gut feeling is it's probably not an eligible expenditure under one of those programs.
Yeah, I just wondered if there was any way to recoup that. That's going to come out of the general fund.
It'll come out of wherever those employees are paid for. So,
Oh, okay, okay.
cemetery parks or spends, the recreation budget. So it'll be kind of spread, around to the different funds wherever those employees are paid from.
Okay. Thank you, Holly.
And like I said, they were already afforded a 50% discount currently.
Yeah,
So we're just expanding that.
Thank you, Commissioner Good. Commissioner Burr, your hand is raised.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, a couple things is, how many employees in the past have taken advantage of the 50% off from the aforementioned departments? Do you have that?
I don't have that information at my fingertips. I kind of think it's probably not a lot, but I also don't think that we necessarily did the best job in marketing it, that it was available to them.
Okay.
I think we could have told more people too that it was available to them at the 50% discount as well.
I know from my past experiences that most of the employees, especially the ones that are working at parks and cemeteries and probably a little bit more of the physical jobs after 8 hours of working, they really don't want to go to the Doyle and spend any time. I know I didn't when I worked for the city. I did not pay too many trips to the Doyle, as I recall. I don't think it's really going to be a make or break deal for someone who wants to work for the city that they get a free membership. That's my personal opinion. And like I said, recently I just talked to some employees this week about it, and they said they'd rather have the money. But whatever we can do to try, I guess it's worth a try. Will that money be earmarked also for the Doyle?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it'll be paid for, their membership will be paid for and charged to the fund where they're working. And then the revenue for that would go into the Doyle as membership revenue.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Burr. Seeing no other hands, like we've done in the past, let's see if there's any comments from our audience. Andrew?
Once again, for those attending via the Zoom meeting, if you have public comment on this agenda item, please use the raise hand feature in Zoom. We'll recognize you for public comment. I see none, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Andrew. Seeing no other hands raised, what say the commission on this agenda item?
Mayor Heil, I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve the amendment to the Doyle membership policy as presented.
Commissioner Malone has made a motion to approve. Do we have support?
I'll support. Support by
And
Commissioner
support by
Klinger.
Commissioner Smith. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Burr,
Yes.
Commissioner Malone,
Yes.
Commissioner Klinger,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mullins,
Yes.
Commissioner Lippman,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiki,
Yes.
Commissioner Good,
Aye.
and Mayor Heil.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
The next item on our agenda, actually, the next three items on our agenda are going to be offered by our city electric department head. The first item is going to be a skid steer purchase. Josh.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. The 2020-2021 fiscal year motor vehicle fund budget included replacement of the electric department's skid steer. With the help from the city mechanic, Dennis Hetman, bid specifications for replacement of this piece of equipment were drafted based on the capabilities of our current skid steer, as well as staff's experience while demoing units from various manufacturers. City staff demoed 3 skid steers with similar specifications and capabilities from Cat, John Deere, and Gale. And a copy of those bid specifications that were sent out and posted is included in your packet. Staff received bids and specifications for 3 units, 1 each from Cat, John Deere, and Gale. And a bid tabulation is also included in your packet. Of the 3 units, the John Deere unit, the 325G skid steer from AIS Equipment, was the only one to meet all minimum specifications and was the highest as bid price at $63,622. City mechanic reviewed all 3 of the bids and weighed the proposed equipment against the electric department's needs. While the Gale was the lowest bid, Dennis found that it fell short on several of the minimum bid specifications, including the lack of a lifetime structural warranty, as well as some of the least desirable overall ratings of the bids returned. The Cat unit, Cat 249D, was the second lowest bid. And based on Dennis's review of the specifications, warranty, performance, power, and tipping load factors, which is a safety concern, it's his opinion that the John Deere unit justifies the price difference. A summary comparison of those specifications is included in your packet. In line with the city mechanic staff, we are recommending the John Deere 325G skid steer from AIS Equipment in the amount of $63,622. The skid steer was budgeted at $58,500 for this fiscal year, with the recommended unit being over budget by $5,122. However, I'm told that a budget amendment is not required for this. Pending approval of this purchase, we are also recommending that we sell our existing skid steer, which is a 2004 Caterpillar unit. I believe it was maybe misstated as a 2014 in your packets, but it is a 2004.
Any comments from the commission? I will make a comment before seeing hands raised. It looks like the John Deere just outweighed all the other 2 by a lot.
Yeah,
what I'm looking at.
Yeah, part of that was the John Deere, in order to meet the minimum specifications, it's actually like a next class larger. So it is in a class of its own, literally, compared to the Cat and Gale.
Mm-hmm. Commissioner Burr, your hand is raised.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. I just had a comment that some of a couple of them were disqualified. When we get into the excavator too, they were disqualified because it didn't have a lifetime guarantee on the frame, which I thought was kind of odd, since the only piece of equipment we kept for a lifetime is a ladder truck. But I suppose that means that it's built a little bit stronger. I still think there's a little bit of morbid humor in that, as far as we disqualify something because it won't last a lifetime. And we don't have anything for a lifetime. That's the only comment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Vice Mayor Mullins. Your hand is raised, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple questions for Josh, or maybe Dennis, I'm not sure. The specs on these things, the tipping load in the agenda, you have the tipping load 35%. Can you explain what that 35% is? Does that mean that you're only giving us a 35% of the weight that's required to tip the thing? Is that what that is?
Yeah, so that's the recommended operating tipping load for a track skid steer unit. It's 35%. And I believe for wheeled units, they base them on 50%. So it's actually, literally what it says, 35% of the load before it tips. And that's what they recommend you operate it at. Not saying it tips at 35%. Obviously, it's tipping at 100%, but that's what they recommend you operate it at.
Okay. Now the skid steer that it's replacing, I don't know the specs on that thing, but which of these units does it most closely represent, as far as all of the 1, 2, 3, 6 or 7 different things that you had listed here? Fuel tank, engine torque, horsepower, brake force, tipping load, ground clearance, all those things. you say the John Deere is in a class of its own. I understand that. And it's over budget, which I tend to have more problems with than anything. But if it's in a class of its own and the other two are not, does that mean that the one that we have is in those other two's class?
So I'm not sure with it being a 2004 unit. I know that there was some trouble getting an apples to apples comparison with from some of the manufacturers, just because it was kind of an in-between unit between their two different classes. And like I said, the specifications were built around the existing unit, plus some of the features that the guys saw when they were demoing the unit. So I don't know if you have any further input on that, Dennis, but
I guess the best way to put it is to, what Josh said, it'd be a class of its own. Meaning for its compact size, it's truly an outperformer for its size. If you take the sheer numbers of the horsepower rating for the units and compare all of them, the horsepowers are almost equal. And the output of the John Deere is much greater. It's probably it is a more superior machine when it comes to being more refined. I guess what I would say for its class is probably the best way to put that. Where you can see, like, where the one, it didn't have the lifetime structure warranty, and that was touched on. And one of the reasons that I felt I was really uncomfortable with that was not because I was worried that it wouldn't last a lifetime and that, but here's the thing is we have let's say there is an issue and in a safety factor, if the vehicle was to roll over and there was somebody inside of it, and if that manufacturer can't put a warranty on that, a lifetime warranty on that structure, what's going to happen to that occupant inside? And that makes me nervous. And I don't want to see somebody be in there when I could go with somebody with a lifetime structure warranty. That was part of that I wanted to touch base on.
Okay, so I guess maybe it's for you, Dennis. I'm not sure. Maybe it's Josh. Or can you hear me?
Yeah.
can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. I thought Dennis was having a problem hearing there. The question that I have then is the minimum bid specifications. Where are those derived? Are they derived off of the current unit that we have and equal to, or are a lot of these things greater than what the current is? I mean, where do these specs come from?
Normally they come from basically what we have and what we're looking to achieve and what we're doing and where our shortcomings fall short from. And also do look at other people, like I know Josh has looked, he's looked at other municipalities running the same type of equipment. You've gone out and looked at what Consumers is running, correct, Josh?
Yep.
And talk with them and see what they're using for their same type of jobs out in the field.
Okay, so maybe Dennis, maybe you can answer the question a little better than that I asked Josh originally. It was about the comparison between the three vehicles or pieces of equipment that were turned back in by the bidders compared to the piece that we're replacing. Can you give me an idea of which one is the closest to the one that we currently have? Is it the Cat John Deere, or is it Geel or Gale?
Gale.
Gale. Okay. Do you know the answer to that?
So that I would probably have to say neither, being that 2004 is old. I mean, as far as the way it's gonna fluidly run, horsepower wise and whatnot, I'd say it's comparable to all three. I guess what I'm trying to get at is you're trying, I guess I'm having a hard time to compare like such an old unit to a newer style unit as making it really hard in replacing. But the problem is that there's a lot of items that the other ones cannot do. Like there's an issue with the Caterpillar with there's an auto hydraulic shutdown protection where it's not allowing you to achieve that method. So basically will not let you shut the hydraulics will not automatically shut down in an event of if you're overworking the system, and it can cause you to burn up a pump. So if you're getting in a situation where you're overworking a piece of equipment, you're not knowing as an operator, you're trying to get the job done. That can be an expensive repair when you go in to do like a hydraulic pump replacement on a unit.
Okay. So I'm guessing that the current one has that feature, the auto engine hydraulic shutdown protection? Or is that not something that's on?
No, it's a pretty basic unit, and it's pretty getting pretty wore out, but put it that way at best.
Okay, well, I'm just going to make a statement then that about the purchase of it. I understand there's needs, and I certainly don't. I certainly don't want to undervalue the value that I see in our electric department and getting what is needed. My biggest concern is with budgetary things, with constantly doing, coming up with prices that we intend to pay for something or what we budgeted for, and then going over budget. And it just seems to me that there were two items that it did not meet the specifications on. One was that auto engine hydraulic shutdown protection, which doesn't sound like we have that on the current one. I don't know how, I mean, I understand that's a nice feature. I'm just not sure how much value you all put on that. And then the fuel tank, it's not the largest 20, I don't remember what the fuel tank was, but it doesn't meet the minimum for that as well. So that's the only two. In my eyes, it seems that going with something like that and still staying under budget would be the best, I guess, just from a money standpoint. And I appreciate you, Dennis and Josh, for answering my questions. So thank you both.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I have two more hands raised. Holly, you have your hand is up. John, I'll give you a second.
Thank you. I just wanted to point out for Commissioner Mullins, so when those 2004 vehicles were purchased, an opportunity to buy those pieces of equipment from Paul Bryant, who was going out of business. And we had contracted with him pretty regularly. And so, he had helped us various things, but when he was getting ready to retire and go out of business, we were able to, he said, hey, do you want to, would you like to buy, this equipment? And I think we came to the commission and got approval. So, we didn't really spec that stuff out. I mean, that just happened to be what he had. And it was an opportunity for us to, to get that used equipment from him. So, I think whenever we, are looking at replacing a piece of equipment, we're always going to be, looking at what's currently available. I mean, I think that they're always making enhancements and improvements and improving the safety features of equipment. I mean, we want our people to be safe. We want to avoid really expensive repairs on equipment if we can. And so, we're always, we don't always replace. In fact, I would say it's probably not typical that we would replace with exactly what we have, because we're going to be evaluating. So when we put the prices together, we do it the best we can. I can also say that, everything has gone up this year. Everything is more expensive than what we have. And the only other comment I would make is that we do have at least a couple pieces of equipment that were included in the budget that I think are very unlikely that they will be replaced yet this fiscal year, which would include I don't think the mobile column lifts will be replaced this year, and I think the forklift will probably be carried over to next year. So anyway, for what it's worth, but I just wanted to point out when we did get those equipment, it was used equipment, so it wasn't spec.
Okay. Thank you for your explanation, Holly. I still think just the two items that didn't meet the minimums. One is a fuel tank capacity. The other is the auto hydraulic. So I just think for $9,000 or $8,000 or $9,000 difference there, and still keeping within the budget would be an important factor for me. So, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Good.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let's take a look at this. The Vice Mayor had indicated or asked a question about where the specs came from. And I read the report, and it talked about how the staff had demoed a number of units. My question would be, did we demo units and then write specs? Because if I demoed the John Deere and said, this is the one I want, when I write the specs, that's the one I'm gonna get. If the specs were written prior to the demoing of the units, then the demoing was taking place while the bidding was being done by the at least the 3 bidders that we have now. And so that takes that irregularity out of the picture. I see it as a matter of perception as well as that of budget. The public has a certain perception with regard to what happens within the city, and a lot of it is to do with, boy, I sure wish I could work for the city, because if I were a skid steer operator, I'd have a heated seat. Okay, so, you know, it's a matter of perception. And the other perception is that of how we control the budget. And the vice mayor indicates that it's an important issue with regard to the budget. If we fall into a habit of saying, okay, we put this out to bid, but we're not taking the low bid, we're taking the high bid, because the high bid is the one that meets the specs. The other 2 don't meet the specs, and for that kind of money, the vice mayor did the math. He said $8,000 or $9,000 for the difference between the Cat and the John Deere, which is in a class by itself. I'm just wondering if it's the right choice to make, to buy the highest price and give the perception to the community that when we bid for a piece of equipment, we buy the best, regardless of the budget. So if it were called for a vote right now to buy this skid steer from John Deere, I'm guessing I'm voting no. So that's my comment, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Good. Commissioner Wiki, your hand is raised. I see you, Skip. Hang on a second. Mr. Wiki.
I think also a perception that we need to think about is the safety of the employees here in Sturgis. You know, if something were to happen where, you know, there would be a malfunction or a tip or something where somebody gets killed and it's a matter of $8,000 or whatever the difference is, well, I'm saying let's go for the $8,000, because you can't get that back. And I don't know. If the money's there and we can do it, and it's the safer option, why wouldn't we go for the safer option? That's my 2 cents.
Commissioner Wick, if I might respond quickly, the safety issue, as was pointed out by the vice mayor, the 2 items where it didn't meet the specifications was the auto shutoff and the gas tank size. I don't see where the auto shutoff may have an impact on repair costs, but I don't see where it's a genuine safety issue. The Cat seems to meet the other safety requirements within the bid, but doesn't meet the auto hydraulic shutoff and the gas tank capacity. By the way, I was going to ask, is this going to be diesel or gas operated?
This is diesel.
Okay. So, you know, always, if you want to impact decision-making, you can talk about safety. And I understand that safety is an important issue, but I don't see where the cost difference between the Cat and the John Deere are severely handicapping safety of the employees.
Okay, Skip, before I get to you, Dennis has his hand raised. I think he's got a comment on this.
I just wanted to Thank you. I just wanted to get and talk about the issue with the tipping load factor. You're looking at a big difference with that. And Josh, if you could fill me in on this, that some of the things that you do with that, is it not that do you lift transformers with that at times?
Yeah, we'll put forks on it. We'll lift transformers with it. We move lots of dirt, lots of pea gravel. And then obviously, the heavier things are the transformers, the switch cabinets, that sort of thing.
Okay, and so that tipping load factor, that changes is if we're gonna put forks on it and you're lifting further off at the forks, that's gonna change that weight scenario. So you're looking at with the Caterpillar and the other one, you're looking at around 1,600 pounds. So if we're moving to the end of the forks, we're gonna actually lighten that load even more. So I just wanted to bring that into there, something to think about. Because I know that you, Josh, you talked with the other agencies who are using the equipment, and this is something that they are using.
Yeah, and that's the price difference is easily justifiable when it comes to lifting transformers. You drop one transformer and there goes that price difference you were trying to save just based on the load factor itself.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Commissioner Littman.
When they were discussing the specs, sounded like that the frame on the John Deere was much stronger or more solid than the Caterpillar. Is that correct?
I can't say 100% that it's more stronger. I don't have tensile. I didn't get tensile strength readings and wall thickness, but I would have to agree that the John Deere is stronger, and it would be built stronger based on the load that it is there to carry, and the fact that the John Deere and Caterpillar do offer a lifetime structural warranty. But the John Deere, I would say, due to the load that it's made to lift, that it would be more of a robust frame.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Littman. Any other questions? Is there anybody in our audience that would like to make comment to this agenda item? Andrew?
Sure. Once again, for those joining us via the Zoom meeting, if you have a public comment on this agenda item, please use the raise hand feature at this time, and we'll recognize you for public comment. I see none, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Andrew. Again, seeing no other hands being raised, what say the commission on this agenda item? Oops, Holly, did you want to say something?
Sorry, I just wanted to ask one question. Josh, how much do those transformers weigh?
I mean, it varies. It varies greatly, but we could be talking upwards of 14,000 pounds.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Again, I'll go back to it, seeing now, again, no other hands raised. What say the commission on this? Or Skip, do you have your hand raised?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Skip.
Okay, what would be the working height of the John Deere? I mean, if you're lifting transformers up to the pole, you're looking at what, 15, 20 feet going up?
Now, that wouldn't be the intention with this thing. We would be loading them on trailers, off trailers, that sort of thing. I mean, we're talking, 4 or 5 feet or less.
Okay, how many pounds or a ton?
Like I said, it varies, but our larger ones could be 14, 15, 16,000 pounds maximum.
Okay, that'd be just going like from the ground to the truck then.
Right.
Okay.
Commissioner Smith has his hand raised. Thank you, Commissioner Littman.
Yeah, if they weigh 14, 15,000 pounds and the tipping number on John Deere is only 4,700, you're still about 10,000 pounds overweight there.
Right. Yeah.
So
no,
it ain't going to matter.
Right. We wouldn't attempt lifting something that large. I'm just trying to give you a range of what we could potentially, be lifting. Something larger like that, we would lift with our line trucks, but we have a whole range of equipment that we lift, and that being the highest limit, the upper limit of what we would be lifting.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Smith. No other hands raised at this point, no other questions? If not, what say the commission on this agenda item?
Your Honor, this is Commissioner Burr, I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve the purchase of a 2021 John Deere 325G skid steer from AIS Construction Equipment in the amount of $63,622 as presented.
I have a motion by Commissioner Burr to approve the purchase of this skid steer. Do we have support?
Second.
Commissioner Wiki supports. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Smith,
No.
Commissioner Littman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mullins.
No,
No?
no,
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Good,
No.
Commissioner Burr,
Yes.
Commissioner Malone,
Yes.
Commissioner Klinger,
No.
Commissioner Wiki,
Yes.
and Mayor Heil.
Yes.
5 votes yay, 4 votes nay, motion carried.
Thank you. There's also a second motion on this agenda item. I believe it's for the sale of the current skid steer. What say the commission on this item here?
Mr. Mayor, I'll just note once again that should be a 2004 in that
Thank you.
motion, not a 2014.
Thank you, Andrew. Skip?
What kind of value do they put on the one that they're going to be offering for sale?
Josh, Dennis? I have no idea.
Dennis, you probably have a better idea on that than I do.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does Commissioner Littman, was that you that asked that question?
Yes, sir.
So the best I could come up with that particular cat model is not really like a cut and dry model. And it's relatively old. I haven't found any recent sales on it. And some of the best numbers that I could come up with was with the price range. And this is a true guess, taking other models in comparison, taking years, hours. And I'm thinking a selling auction price is probably going to be around 16 to 21,000 is where I'm thinking it's going to fall in. And that's purely a guess. And that's the best I can do. Like I said, I haven't found any hard evidence, and that's truly just doing a little bit of research and looking. That's where I'm feeling it might come in.
Okay, so the offset there, if we're looking at a sale of north of 15,000 and we're going over budget by about 6 or 7, we're still going to have a surplus, so to speak. Is that correct?
Yes.
Or a pad, if you want to say.
However you'd like to word it, Commissioner.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Littman. Thank you, Des. So what does the commission say on the sale of the Bobcat?
hey, Mr. Mayor, just real quick, I'd like to
Yes.
say that once I got the understanding that these were 2004 models and not 2014, they sure changed my outlook a whole lot. But I'd like to make the motion that the city commission authorize the sale of vehicle 233-04, the 2004 Caterpillar multi-terrain loader via public auction.
Okay, I have a motion to sell the Bobcat, 2004 Bobcat by Vice Mayor Mullins. Do I have support?
Support, Commissioner Burr.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Mullins,
Yes.
Commissioner Klinger,
Yes.
Commissioner Malone,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiki,
Yes.
Commissioner Good,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Burr,
Yes.
Commissioner Littman,
Yes.
and Mayor Heil.
Yes.
9-0, motion carried.
Thank you all. The next item on our agenda is the mini excavator purchase. Again, Josh, and I will tell you that there are two motions on this, but the second motion to sell is not going to be used. It's just to purchase a new unit. Josh, please.
Thank you. The motor vehicle fund for the 2020-21 fiscal year also included replacement of the electric department mini excavator with the assistance from Dennis again, built bid specifications for the replacement of this equipment based on the capabilities of our current mini excavator, as well as staff's experience while demoing units from various manufacturers. City staff demoed 4 mini excavators with similar specifications and capabilities. These manufacturers that they demoed were John Deere, Volvo, and Bobcat. A copy of the bid specifications is included in your packet. We received bids and specifications for 5 units, and that tab is included in your packet. Volvo and Bobcat were the only manufacturers that were able to meet all the minimum bid specifications. And Bobcat was the second lowest bid overall, and the lowest bidder meeting all of the minimum specifications. Comparison recommendation from Dennis is also included in your packet. City staff is recommending the Bobcat 35i mini excavator from Carlton Equipment in the amount of $48,200. The excavator was budgeted at $50,000 for this fiscal year. With this, as you alluded to, sorry, I kept going there, but the existing excavator is a 2004 John Deere excavator, and that is looking to be repurposed by our DPS department.
Any questions for Josh or Dennis on the purchase of this mini excavator?
Who's purchasing the used one, the prior one?
The DPS,
Yeah,
Department of Public Services.
Yep.
Okay,
It's a very, very handy piece of equipment.
yeah.
Okay. See no hands raised. Again, let's go see if we have public comment. Andrew?
Sure, Mr. Mayor. For those joining us via the Zoom meeting, if you wish to make public comment, please use the raise hand feature. I see none, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Andrew. Again, there's only one motion on this item. The second one is off. So what say the commission?
Your Honor, it's Commissioner Burr. I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve the purchase of a 2021 Bobcat E35i mini excavator from Carlton Equipment Company in the amount of $48,200 as presented.
I have a motion to purchase by Commissioner Burr. Do we have support?
Mr. Good will support that motion.
Thank you, Thank you, Commissioner Good. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Malone,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mullins,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiki,
Yes.
Commissioner Good,
Yes.
Commissioner Littman,
Yes.
Commissioner Klinger,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Burr,
Yes.
and Mayor Heil.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Mr. Rhodes. The last item on our agenda is the preliminary engineering for Sturgis Dam improvements. Josh, you're up again.
Thank you. With us tonight, we have Chris Jeter from Lawson Fisher Associates to assist with this item. In a letter from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC, dated January 11, 2021, they approved our plan, our proposed plan for reducing the inflow design flood, our IDF, and addressing the long-term seepage concerns at the main embankment at the dam. Several items requiring attention at the main embankment can now move forward given this approval from FERC. Planned improvements at the Sturgis Dam include raising the detached embankment, replacing the grout mattress on the upstream face of the main embankment with riprap, construction of an ADA compliant path, addressing surface drainage in the area of the embankment toe and access road, and addressing the long-term seepage concerns of the main embankment. A map outlining these improvements in relationship to the dam is included in your packet. Per FERC's request, an engineering study needs to be completed prior to these projects moving forward. Included in your packet is a proposal from Lawson Fisher Associates. Scope of work includes a geotech review, evaluation of options for improvements at the main embankment, engineering estimates for the costs associated with each improvement, evaluation of phasing for the project, provision of long-term planning options, and a preliminary engineering report. 2 progress meetings will also be completed as a part of the scope of this work. The cost for the study is an amount not to exceed $68,000, and we are requesting a bid waiver to contract Lawson Fisher on this project, given their experience with the city's hydro dam and specialty engineering services.
Thank you, Josh. Any questions for him on this item, agenda item? Commissioner Burr.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I just had a question. Why do we have to put a ADA compliant path along that berm? Do we want to encourage people to be going down that path?
So I need to pull up the map here, but I believe the outlined area is not the area of where the ADA path is going to be placed. And the request for the ADA path was by FERC.
Because my map shows a dotted line that says it's an access path, and it goes all the way to the area of CPG and surface drain concern.
Right.
So that's,
yeah. Chris, when the ADA path as specified by FERC, we are down farther. We're out to the right there, where it juts out to the right below where you see the square that says access path improvements for ADA compliance. Go down below that, down to where it Ys, and then out to the right. I believe that's where we're talking.
oh, okay. It just looked like that you were planning on putting the path all the way down the berm, and that seemed a little concerning for someone in a wheelchair.
Right. Nope.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
No further
Commissioner Burr.
questions.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Good.
Actually, Commissioner Burr asked the question that I was going to ask. So thank you, Commissioner Burr.
Thank you, Commissioner Good. Thank you, Commissioner Good. Seeing no other hands here, or because Chris is with us, Chris, do you have anything to add to what Josh has presented to us?
No, I don't, Mr. Mayor. I think Josh covered it pretty well there. This was, I'll say, the next logical step from the meeting that we had at the end of February when we discussed the property acquisition downstream of the dam. So this keeps us on schedule and meeting FERC's requirements, and yeah, definitely keeps us on schedule.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Andrew, see if we have any comments from our audience.
Once again, from the public, if there's any comments on this agenda item, please use the raise hand feature at this time. I see none, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Andrew. And again, seeing no other hands here for questions or comment, what say the commission on this agenda item?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I served on the city commission once before in the 1980s. During that time, I also worked with Lawson Fisher, and they were working on the dam at that time. So I'm very pleased to move that the Sturgis City Commission approve a bid waiver and the proposed for the proposal from Lawson Fisher Associates to conduct the embankment rehabilitation study in an amount not to exceed $68,000 as presented.
Thank you, Commissioner Good. Makes the proposal to approve. Do we have support?
I'll support.
I believe Vice Mayor made support of this motion. If I'm wrong, please, Jeff, please let me know. We have support. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Good,
Yes.
Commissioner Lippman,
Yes.
Commissioner Malone,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Burr,
Yes.
Commissioner Klinger,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiki,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mullins,
Yes.
Mayor Heil.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you all. Again, Josh, you had three big things here. Thank you for all the work you've done on these. Dennis, thank you for your support. And Jeff, or Chris, thank you also for helping us out here. We are done with our agenda items. We are to the commissioners and staff comments. I always like to start with the staff. Let me get my eyes straight here. Will, you're with us. You didn't say anything tonight. Do you have any comments?
I have nothing tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dennis, would you have anything to add?
No, I just, thanks for hearing it out and everybody. I think the right choices were made. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for all your work with that. Holly?
Nothing tonight. Thanks. Thanks for all the information.
Thank you, Holly. Ken?
Nothing tonight. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Roger?
The only thing, Mayor, is that Monday morning, either at 5 or 7, depending on whether you talk to Ann or you talk to me, we're heading north. So I should be back in the office next Wednesday. I can't wait to have the opportunity to be back in town again. So other than that, I have nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Safe trip, Roger, to both you and Ann. Andrew?
Nothing this evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. And Michael?
Nothing other than just a reminder that we have a budget work session next Wednesday at 5:30. Thank you, Your Honor.
I do believe we are thinking that budget work session will be in person, correct, Michael?
Well, that was a question I had because of the change with the gathering and mask order and lifting of the 25 max capacity limit. I wondered if you might want to have the budget work session in person.
So to the commissioners, would you be willing to meet in person for our budget session? I got thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Another thumbs up, waved by Commissioner Good.
I have a question.
Question? Go ahead.
Where would that be held, Mike?
I think it would have to be held at the Sturgis Young. We still have to meet the distancing and mask requirements.
I have to tell you, I am at a severe disadvantage because of the audio problem at the auditorium. With the distancing, I am at a severe disadvantage.
Yeah, and I don't know if the acoustic panels will really make much of a difference for you.
Well, if it's in Union Room B, I can tell you they do not.
Right. I'm not sure how you want to proceed. I think the only feasible place to really have it would be at the Sturgis Young.
Yeah, I'm only one member. You guys don't care that I can't tell what you're saying, and you may very well like that. It may be, hey, Good's out of the picture. Let's get her done.
Hold on a second. Andrew, how many could we fit in the VSLO room? I think we had
I was thinking about that. I would have to double check it. But if we had any members of the public, we would probably be in trouble.
Yeah, we typically don't have a ton of people, but
we typically don't. But
maybe, one thought would be we plan to have it in the VSLO room. Because I think with commissioners and staff, we're at 12, so that gets us another 8 people or so. Or no, my math, it should be 6. So it might be kind of difficult, but if we have too many, then I suppose we could just move it. I don't know. Nothing is ideal anymore.
Is it possible for you to get together with Commissioner Good to try to see how that would work for John? Help him
to try. The problem is we really need to decide tonight because we're not really able to decide this outside of the meeting.
Okay, hang on a second. Commissioner Wiki has his hand raised.
Well, I mean, I would stand beside Commissioner Good and say let's not use the Sturgis Young. If the VSLOC room is a possibility and we can do that, then let's do that there. If not, I guess I'd rather just stay online like we're doing.
And I have a Commissioner Smith has his hand raised.
I gave a thumbs up to meeting in person, but I really don't care one way or the other. If it works out better for any member to be doing it on the Zoom, I'm for doing it on the Zoom.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Klinger.
Yeah, as much as I want to give everybody a hug and all that, I just don't know if leaving anyone at a disadvantage at this point for the meetings is in best interest at all. Especially, I mean, I already feel like the VSLOC room is at a pretty strict limit as far as requiring the 6-foot social distancing between everybody. So, I mean, as much as I really want to do this in person again, I feel as though we probably should just stick to the Zoom until further notice.
All righty. Thank you, sir. Vice Mayor Mullins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Give it at me.
Budget meetings, sometimes it feels like they'd probably be better suited to be in person. Yeah, but I'm wondering about the lobby of the auditorium itself, if there would be room there, because I'm thinking that Commissioner Good, I'm not sure if the biggest problem is more of the echo and cavernous kind of feel of some of those rooms in a smaller room, you know, like VSLO, or like the lobby over there. I don't know if that'd be bigger, but I guess I'd just like to say, you know, maybe that'd be something to consider, because it is, I believe it is carpeted, right, and everything, and it's a lot less acoustically challenging. So just thought I'd throw that one out there.
I can say, Vice Mayor, that when we had our meeting in the dining room, and I struggled with the audio in there, as soon as we stepped out into that lobby, my first comment was, we should have met out here. And so I can confirm that the lobby would be much better. We met in a committee meeting Monday at noon in the union room. And fortunately, I took my little microphone thing with me. And that committee meeting is pretty much dominated by one person. So I put that mic on his table and was able to participate in the meeting in a much better manner. But with 8 others spread out, I only have one of those microphones. So, but if it were in the lobby, I can tell you the audio challenges there are minimal compared to the Union Room B and dining room. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, John. Andrew.
I'm sorry, I don't have a raise hand feature because I'm the host. So I did want to note we will be unable to use the VSLOC room in any way, because there's going to be some work being done in there the 5th through the 7th. So I think that would be out as an option.
Okay, Commissioner Wicke.
Well, I mean, that bit of information changes things, but I was just going to say it might be worth looking into restrictions when we're using plexiglass. You know, if restaurants can have plexiglass in between benches where people are back to back 2 feet apart, I'm not sure why we wouldn't be able to have plexiglass in between our chairs in the VSLOC room if it was open. Maybe for the future we could think about that. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Burr.
Yes, they do have the baffles up in the dining room. It does make quite a difference. Maybe Commissioner Good could go over there this week and have a sound check and see if he agrees with that. It does make quite a difference. You don't have the cavern effect when you're talking in there anymore. I guess that'd be up to him if he wanted to try that or not.
I'll go see Sheila anytime.
Okay, I kind of agree with the Vice Mayor, whereas budget meetings are best suited in person. As you know, being on Zoom, it takes a long time to go through things, and it just seems that we have a better unit when we all meet together and can express our comments and not worry about the screen freezing and getting online. So that's my 2 cents worth. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Burr. Andrew, is it possible, or Andrew or Michael, is it possible to look at the
So why
outside of
don't we,
outside of that?
yeah, my suggestion is maybe I could meet with Commissioner Good and Sheila, and we could kind of see if there's a preferred, maybe the lounge area would work, and if so, we could set up there, or maybe we find that we could set it up in a way in the dining room that would work.
Okay.
Listen, like I said before, I'm only one of you guys and gals. Sorry, Suzanne. Anyway, I'm only one of the commissioners, and I'm the only one with a hearing disability. So I will adjust. And I believe, along with the rest of you, that in person for budget sessions is much better. And, I'm more than willing to see if there is a way that I can, make it work better. I'll take the challenge.
Okay.
And Mike, how soon do we need to have the location set? Is it within 24 hours of the meeting, or is it longer?
You broke up. I think you were actually asking how soon. I think it's 18 hours, so we have plenty of time to post it.
Okay. That was a question I was going to ask also. Thank you, Vice Mayor, for that question. I think we got this under control to figure out where we're going to go. Let's start with commissioner comments. Commissioner Klinger.
So I guess I had a little question aside from things before we ended the night. It'd probably be directed maybe at our, maybe it will. I'm just trying to clarify for what seems to be some concerns from some community members that there was the permittance of what some to understand to be a cannabis provisioning center downtown. I haven't dug deep yet. I've kind of done my due diligence to look around and see that it seems as though that the man is operating under the premise of a CBD store. Is this correct? Is Will still in here?
Yeah, he's coming out.
Okay.
I'm here, sorry. Yeah, he's being treated as a CBD processor, marketer, seller. He's got his CBD license with MDARD currently, so that's what he's being permitted to sell.
Okay. Regards to the law, that whether or not, there's gray areas and other things that are currently being as well. The public safety director isn't here tonight, which was unfortunate because I had another secondary question directed to him. But the concern came up because a business member downtown, or an employee of a business downtown, was concerned that this individual was approaching minors with his products and proceeding to hand them out. So I just wanted to, stress the concern that was brought to me and see, if anything has been discussed or if something had been maybe approached about it. But obviously Ryan isn't here to give me some sort of guidance on that. So yeah, just an open concern there. It was a little unfortunate to see that kind of thing come across my message patterns. Another question for you though, and I don't know if it's an option for us, but I had shared our open bid for the leased facility over on Progress Street on my social media network. And multiple people had asked if there was some sort of way that the pictures of the inside of some kind could be taken and posted as well.
Oh, we can. On the post, there's a flyer, and if someone has questions, they can contact or email Dan Root. We'd even give them a tour of the building.
Okay. And that was another thing, was that they were wondering if tours were allowed or not. And
yeah, absolutely. So,
okay.
Yep. So they should contact Dan. He may have pictures already, but he could provide those and then give tours as well, or any other information that people have.
Okay. Good to hear. All right. That's good. Other than that, I'm happy it was 80 yesterday. I skipped half a day and golfed because obviously, other than that, I'm enjoying the view of my current work site while I sit here with you guys. So, I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Commissioner Klinger. Commissioner Burke.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Wiki.
I like to stay on the positive side, but there was something that I felt was kind of unfortunate. I saw a post from the city this past week about not walking dogs in the cemetery. And well, our cemetery is probably one of the prettiest cemeteries around. And I know lots of families that like to walk in the cemetery. And a lot of families have dogs and they're like their family members. So I don't know if that's something that we can bring around to the commission to talk about. Because when I saw that, I just, to myself and my own opinion, I thought that was kind of ridiculous that that's actually a rule. And I lived here pretty much my whole life and had no idea that was a rule that people can't walk their dogs in the park, or sorry, the cemetery. So I think that's all I have.
All righty, thank you, sir. Commissioner Klinger.
Just, real quick on that point, I wholeheartedly understand Justin's comment. I've unfortunately been, laid direct witness to people, simply letting their dog make its dues and then leave it there without, question as you're passing by and stuff. And it's most likely that kind of issue of having to follow around and clean up after other people that probably create that problem, and us having those kind of rules. It is a sacred place. I mean, it is a place where we all go to mourn or respect and honor who we've lost. But nonetheless, I still think that maybe even in agreement, maybe we can readdress the rule in some sort of fashion somehow, but 50-50 on the thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Burke.
Yes, I guess I could best answer that question because I was working there when we made that rule. At one point, you could walk your dog there, but the problem was, as always, not with the people who respected cleaning up after the dog, it's the ones that didn't. And you can imagine we had complaints when loved ones who had buried their departed and went back to visit the grave, and there was a pile of dog
Excrement.
manure. Yes, thank you for that. And it's very stressful for people. If you could guarantee that they would pick up after themselves, that'd be one thing. But as you know, if you go walk along the terrace anywhere in the city or down in parks, you'll find that people do not often take care of their dogs. And as you could check with Tony Van Nest at the dog park, it's the same way. Even though there are bags provided at the dog park, they still don't take care of the trailings of the dogs. So that's why we made that rule and we try to enforce it, was because of the basically of the misuse of walking your dog.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Burke. Commissioner Good.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a couple of things. One, the bottom of Dead Man's Hill. Mike Hughes, have we spread additional sand down there? Or, are we going to attack that this spring/summer/fall?
We haven't. Well, last time, I mean, the status is we had made a storm sewer change or modification, and we were watching how that would progress. I've been watching it and paying attention, and it has improved. I'm not sure what spring will do. Are you noticing or more standing water? Because I have not.
No, I have not noticed more standing water, but then again, we have not had any really serious rainfalls. And of course, I have noticed that the retention ponds, such as the one on the north side of the Meyer property, has had water in it for some time now, even though we haven't had any deluges. And additionally, there's a healthy amount of water in the White Elephant property. So that may be aiding in the fact that there is no water at the bottom of Dead Man's Hill. But I just wanted to make sure that we still have our eye on the ball there. I understand that the sewer line repair may very well have been the repair that we needed. So that's that one. My other item is, another item is the RFP for third-party plan review, et cetera. Has any baby steps been made regarding that?
I guess it depends on how you characterize a baby step. We've had some internal discussion and thoughts on kind of a plan to proceed in evaluating that. I guess what I understood is that we would be evaluating and bringing something back to the commission, not necessarily writing an RFP quite yet. I thought we would kind of evaluate our options and present those and then get some direction from the commission. But yeah, it's we have had some discussions for sure. If I could go back to Dead Man's Hill. So I don't know that the storm sewer modification resolves the issue entirely, but I think it does make a difference on how much fill that we would want to bring in, and hopefully it's less. So I would like to see what spring brings, and you're correct that we really haven't had much in the way of rainfall, but probably going to get some May showers. So I think we should maybe around June, we should see what we have and then come up with a plan. But in terms of being on my mind, I feel like I drive by it every day. I don't take, notes, but I drive by it every day and try to see what it looks like.
Okay. Then I have, let's see. Oh, here it is. One of our updates several weeks ago had indicated there was going to be a potential revenue boost based on our esteemed president's stimulus bill, and haven't heard a word about that since. Are we going to talk about that in the budget session?
We could. I've been waiting to find out a couple of things. I mean, getting confirmation of what we will be getting. There's been a preliminary number, but MML has told everybody, don't spend it yet because those numbers may not be completely accurate. And then the second thing is getting clear guidance on what we can use it for. So I suppose we can talk about it, but it seems like it'd be, more productive conversation if we know exactly what the rules are.
Yeah, it's interesting that here's a gift, but these are the strings. It's always the case, but that was that. We have to find out what strings are attached to that. Let's see. Oh, and lastly, I'm sorry to take so much of your time, fellow commissioners, but lastly, Saturday morning from 9 to noon, we will be recycling styrofoam out at the DPS building. So get your styrofoam take-home meal boxes, your doggy boxes, clean them out and bring them to us, will you? We'll get them recycled. That's all, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Commissioner Good. Commissioner Littman.
It
Comments?
looks to me like everything that was said answered, so I've got nothing else.
All right, thank you, sir. Commissioner Smith.
Yeah, just one thing. Doggy diapers. If we had doggy diapers, they could walk their dog in the cemetery.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Malone.
Happy anniversary to Skip and Mary. 48 years. Wow. So other than that, I have nothing else.
Congratulations, Skip.
Oh, boy.
Commissioner Malone. Vice Mayor Mullins.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And final comments from me. I'm hoping we can work this out. I would like to do an in-person meeting for our budget meeting this next Wednesday, if we can get this worked out. That being said, I want to thank you all for coming tonight and participating in our commission meeting, and wish you a good evening for the rest of the night. I'm going to go ahead and close the meeting. We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes. Good night, everybody.
All right.
Au revoir.